Welcome back to another episode of Chip Theory. Today I'm going to be talking about a Lydian modal scale. And now that we have all our chips laid out in a row here, starting with A. A is going to be our keynote of this particular Lydian scale. So we're going to be talking about A Lydian. Here we have the A. Of course, we have the chips laid out like you'd see on a keyboard. You can see here the group of two black chips. This would be C right here, represent the group of two black keys on the piano, and this is the beginning of the group of three, split up roundabout down this way. So if we were to move the A over here, here's our group of three black chips, and our group of two. So here we'd have B and C, and E and F right here. Of course, E and F do not have a black key between them, and neither do B and C. So, bringing our A back down to the beginning, we're going to be talking about A Lydian. So the first thing we need to remember when we're talking about the Lydian mode is our pattern for the Lydian mode. A Lydian is a fourth mode of a major scale, meaning that it's going to start on the perfect fourth above the tonic of the key that the mode is derived from. It's also going to give us a pattern of a whole, 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 half, whole, whole, half. That means that the first note of A Lydian will start after the first half note of the major scale. So when we have the group of three whole notes, a half note, and two whole notes, and then a half note. Again, it's important to remember that the pattern for Lydian, being whole, 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 half, is inverse to the Locrian pattern. If you say the Locrian pattern going up, you have the Lydian pattern coming down. And if you say the Lydian pattern descending, half, whole, half, whole, you have the Locrian pattern ascending. So the two patterns are inverse. So if we know our Lydian pattern, we know our Locrian pattern, if we can say it backwards. Again, the Lydian is whole, half, whole, half. The second thing we want to realize when talking about our A Lydian mode is the key of which the Lydian mode will be derived from. So we can take the A to the right side here, and we're going to count down 5 half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is here to our E note. So we know that the A mode, Lydian mode, is going to be from the key of E major, and that's going to be the tonic of our relative major key. Again, if we know that E is 5 half steps away from A in this direction, we know that E is 7 half steps above A in the other direction, due to the fact that there are 12 half steps within an octave. So if it's 5 down, it's going to be 7 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. From A to E, our relative major key. And we also can realize that the E here will be the 5th degree of our A Lydian scale, it being a 7 half steps or a 5th above A. So we could simply play the E major scale starting on A and achieve our A Lydian mode, or we can use the pattern I stated before of a whole step, a whole step, a whole step, a half step, a whole step, and another whole step. And our final half step here will be from G sharp back to the A. Again, if we look at the pattern coming down, we have half, whole, half, whole, which is the Locrian pattern, but it won't be the same notes of Locrian, but it's the pattern of Locrian. Again, the pattern ascending is Lydian, whole, half, So let's remove the notes that are not in our Lydian mode. This leaves us with the notes A, B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, and G sharp. Here we can see we're dealing with the scale with 4 sharps here, and our E note is the 5th degree of the Lydian mode, which is the relative major, which has 4 sharps in its key signature, E major. We can also see that this is an A major scale, our keynote A. If we were to look at its major scale and compare it, we have a note of the 4th degree of the A major scale, which is raised, or the D sharp from A major is raised. So we have a sharp 4. Lydian is well known to be the mode with a sharp 4th degree. And that's an easy and quick way to remember the A Lydian mode, by raising the sharp 4. Okay, realizing these things, we can derive our scale degrees from the major scale by moving the E down here to our E major mode and giving these scale degrees based on the relative major. Here we have the E major scale: E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, and D sharp, where E would be 1, F sharp is 2, G sharp is 3, A is 4, B is 5, C sharp is 6, and D sharp is 7. We want to remember those scale degrees from the major, because when we move back to our Lydian mode, we're simply starting from the 4th degree of E here. So we have 4, 5, 6, 7, root, 2, and 3 from our E key. Okay, so our first triad here is going to be the 4, 6 roots of E, or A, C sharp, and E, which is major. So Lydian is going to have a major first triad. Our second triad of Lydian is the 5, 7, 2 of a relative major. In this case, B, D sharp, and F sharp, which is also major. Our third triad is 6 root 3 from the relative major, which is C sharp, E, and G sharp here. And it's minor. So our third triad is minor in Lydian. Our sharp 4 triad here is built on the 7, 2, 4 of the relative major, which is diminished. In this case, D sharp, F sharp, and A. The fifth triad is the relative major, root, 3rd, and 5th, E, G sharp, and B, which is major. Our sixth triad is going to be the 2, 4, 6, which is minor. It's going to be F sharp, A, and C sharp. And our seventh triad is also minor, built on the 3, 5, 7 of the relative major. 3, 5, and 7 are here, which is going to be G sharp, B, and D sharp, or a G sharp minor triad. 3, 5, 7. So again, the qualities of our triads of the Lydian mode are a major, a major, a minor, a diminished, a major, a minor, and a minor. Okay, so understanding that, we can build our seventh chords based on the scale degrees of simply alternating notes of the Lydian scale, just like we would on any other scale, except our degrees are different. Our first one is going to be the 4, 6, root 3 chord, okay, which is a major 7, for starting on A, C sharp, E, and G sharp. A, C sharp, E, and G sharp are these four tones. Again, this is 4, 6, root 3 of our relative major. Again, it's a major 7, a 4-3-4 spacing. It's going to have a 2 plus 1 here for its minor third. And 2 plus 1 equals 3, so there's 3 half steps between C sharp and E on this scale. So it's a 2 plus 1. You have C sharp to D sharp is 2, and D sharp to E is 1. So 2 plus 1 here on the second interval of our major 7 in this position. Our 2 chord is 5-7-2-4 of the relative major, which is dominant. All right, B, D sharp, F sharp, and A. This is our B dominant 7, built on the 5-7-2-4 of E, here in the second position of A Lydian. It's a 4-3-3 spacing. It's going to have a 1 plus 2 for this minor third and a 2 plus 1 for this minor third. Here on our third degree of A Lydian, we have the 6-3-5 chord from our relative major. 6-3-5 is going to be C sharp, E, G sharp, and B, which is a minor 7, a 3-4-3 spacing. And it's going to have a 2 plus 1 for this minor third and a 1 plus 2 on this minor third. Again, this is the same for all chords starting on the 6th degree of our major scale. 6-3-5 always has a 2 plus 1 here and a 1 plus 2 here. Our sharp 4 is a 7-2-4-6 half diminished chord from E, which is D sharp, F sharp, A, and C sharp. Again, this is a major third here from A to C sharp, which makes this chord half diminished. We have a 3-3-4 spacing. It's going to have a 1 plus 2 here and a 2 plus 1 here. 3-3-4, half diminished, on the sharp 4 degree of A Lydian. D sharp, F sharp, A, and C sharp. Our 5 chord is the relative major. It's going to be the root, 3rd, 5th, 7th from its relative scale. E, G sharp, B, and D sharp. Again, any root position, 1 chord from its relative major has a 1 plus 2 interval between its 3rd and the 5th. G sharp to B, we have G sharp to G sharp to A, and A to B is a 1 plus 2. Here on the 6th position, we have the 2-4-6 root minor 7 chord from the relative major. F sharp, A, C sharp, and E. Again, this is a 3-4-3 spacing, 2-4-6 root of E, and it's going to have 2 plus 1 intervals for its minor thirds on both of them. 2 plus 1 here and a 2 plus 1 here, as all 2 chords are chords starting on the 2nd degree of the major scale, half. Here we're on the 6th position of A Lydian. On the 7th position here of A Lydian, we have the 3-5-7-2 of E, or G sharp, B, D sharp, and F sharp. This is also a 3-4-3 minor 7 chord, except for the 3s have 1 plus 2 intervals. So it's the same quality here as the 6th position chord and the 3 position chord, except for this one has 1 plus 2s for its minor thirds. A 3-4-3, the 3-5-7-2 chord from E major. So we're starting on G sharp, B, D sharp, and F sharp. Again, so our qualities of the chords were a major 7, dominant 7, minor 7, the sharp 4 half diminished 7, the 5 major 7, the 6 minor 7, and our 7 minor 7. Let's talk about the inversions of these chords. For A Lydian, again, our first chord from A Lydian is the 4/6 root third major 7 from the relative major A, C sharp, E, and G sharp. It's a 4/3/4 spacing. When we invert it, we bring our A to the top. We have a 3/4/1, C sharp, E, G sharp, A, to the 4/1/4 starting on E, E, G sharp, A, C sharp, to a 1/4/3 starting on G sharp, A, C sharp, and E. Coming down is E, C sharp, A, G sharp, C sharp, A, G sharp, E, A, G sharp, E, C sharp, and G sharp, E, C sharp, A, for one position of A Lydian. Our second chord of A Lydian was the B dominant 7, 5/7/2/4 chord from E. It's a 4/3/3 spacing, B, D sharp, F sharp, A. When we invert it, we bring the B to the top, giving us a 3/3/2 position, dominant 7, first inversion, starting on D sharp, F sharp, A, and B. Our second inversion is the 3/2/4 position, starting on F sharp, A, B, D sharp, to our 2/4/3 position, starting on A, B, D sharp, F sharp. Coming down is F sharp, D sharp, B, A, D sharp, B, A, F sharp, B, A, F sharp, D sharp, and A, F sharp, D sharp, B, or B dominant 7. For our third chord of A Lydian, we have a minor 7, C sharp, E, G sharp, B. It's a 3/4/3 spacing. When we invert it, we have a 4/3/2 starting on E, G sharp, B, and C sharp, to our 3/2/3 starting on G sharp, B, C sharp, E, to a 2/3/4 starting on B, C sharp, E, and G sharp. Coming down is G sharp, E, C sharp, B, E, C sharp, B, G sharp, C sharp, B, G sharp, E, and B, G sharp, E, C sharp. Our sharp 4 of A Lydian was D sharp, F sharp, A, C sharp, which is half diminished, the 7/2/4/6 half diminished chord, D sharp, F sharp, A, C sharp. Again, half diminished is a 3/3/4 spacing. When we invert this, we have the 3/4/2 starting on F sharp, A, C sharp, D sharp, to the 4/2/3 starting on A, C sharp, D sharp, F sharp, to our 2/3/3 position starting on C sharp, D sharp, F sharp, and A. Coming down is A, F sharp, D sharp, C sharp, F sharp, D sharp, C sharp, A, D sharp, C sharp, A, F sharp, and C sharp, A, F sharp, D sharp, or D sharp half diminished, or sharp 4 chord of A Lydian. Our 5 chord is a relative major, major 7, E, G sharp, B, D sharp. It's a 4/3/4 spacing. When we invert the E, we're left with a 3/4/1 starting on G sharp, B, D sharp, and E, to our 4/1/4 spacing starting on B, D sharp, E, and G sharp to a 1-4-3 starting on D sharp, E, G sharp, and B. Coming down is B, G sharp, E, D sharp, G sharp, E, D sharp, B, E, D sharp, B, G sharp, and D sharp, B, G sharp, and E for a fifth position chord of A Lydian. Again, this was a relative major chord. The sixth chord is the 2-4-6 root, F sharp minor 7, F sharp A, C sharp E. And we invert it, we have a 4-3-2 position starting on A, C sharp, E, F sharp, to a 3-2-3 starting on C sharp, E, F sharp, A, to a 2-3-4 starting on E, F sharp, A, C sharp. Coming down is C sharp, A, F sharp, E, A, F sharp, E, C sharp, F sharp, E, C sharp, A, and E, C sharp, A, F sharp. Our 7 chord is our G sharp minor 7, a 3-4-3 spacing, G sharp, B, D sharp, F sharp. When we invert this, we have a 4-3-2 starting on B, D sharp, F sharp, G sharp, to our 3-2-3 starting on D sharp, F sharp, G sharp, B, to our 2-3-4 starting on F sharp, G sharp, B, and D sharp. Coming down is D sharp, B, G sharp, F sharp, B, G sharp, F sharp, D sharp, G sharp, F sharp, D sharp, B, and F sharp, D sharp, B, G sharp. Again, these are the chords of A Lydian. We have an A major 7, B dominant 7, C sharp minor 7, D sharp half diminished, E major 7, F sharp minor 7, and G sharp minor 7. And those are the chords of A Lydian mode.